and it might peak, as you can see. How many was it? 845 orders in one day. Hello everyone, today I will show you how I sell goods in Russia. I'll narrate this video, showing you how I do the work. It'll be easier. I will voice this video and tell you everything step by step, against the background of how I, in principle, do the work, well, inserting various inserts. It will be simple. It's simpler, and more understandable for you, and in principle, more pleasant for you. Here's how I sell products in Russia. I sold them for $250,000 to $300,000, and I sold roughly 100,000 items. I sold them for about $250,000 in a year, maybe even around $300,000, depending on the exchange rate. And I sold about 100,000 products. Yes, it is a lot, and, as you understand, the goods are very cheap. That is, the average price of a product is $3. Right now, we're slightly raising the prices, and the average starts at $5 this year, and sometimes even $7. I know for the US you will say that this is not possible at all because in the US shipping only costs $5. But in Russia, that's possible because here, delivery on marketplaces varies, but it starts depending on the marketplace. And it starts at around 20 cents, and there have even been cases where it was as low as 10 cents, and that's for shipping all across Russia. For that kind of money, they could deliver the product. But it's important for the product to be small. About 10 by 10 centimeters, that's the maximum size. My product is even smaller. There are more options, but the shipping is a bit more expensive there, and the products cost around $10. So, let me start by telling you where you can actually sell in Russia. In Russia, there are marketplaces. The main marketplace is Ozon. Here, I've logged into Ozon. It's visible on the screen. It's available in English. Basically, as far as I know, I think it used to be available even before. In the U.S., sanctions against Russia haven't been imposed yet. They have products here, like Amazon, buy all he maza. Can buy anything you want here. Delivery is made to pickup points. They're everywhere. We live in a village, and there's even a pickup point here too. They're pretty much everywhere. Right now, there are pickup points in Russia, Belarus, Kazakhstan. Kyrgyzstan and other countries have pickup points. Check online if interested. There are pickup points, and the company is operating. If anyone is interested, you can look it up on the internet. Cheaper here from bulk imports, local makers. Ozon is like Amazon. Here many goods are cheaper than on AliExpress. Yes, because they are brought here in bulk from China. Mainly there are also many local producers. That's why the price is lower, and I'll show you the second site in this. It's basically Ozon, like Amazon. The name hasn't strayed too far. It's basically the same as in AliExpress, but here, it's a bit more inconvenient for sellers, and for buyers too. The delivery here takes a lot longer, and the prices are a bit higher on many products, but overall, the quality of the products is better. Delivery is slower, quality better. But the quality of the products is generally better. And for sellers, it's not as profitable to sell here because the delivery already starts at around $1 for shipping and goes up from there. Plus, the prices here are higher. For delivery and higher. Well, the prices here are higher. Now let me tell you about the fees on these marketplaces. Let's go into my account. I actually have two of them. I have two organizations, just. Let's go into my account and take a look now. I'll show you. I'll basically translate all the analytics, like the rates, some warehouse rates. For us. Here you can check how much it costs to ship to the customer from the warehouse in AliExpress. Here you can sort by price. The price here is listed in Russian rubles, and the current exchange rate is about 110, so that's roughly the cheapest at 26 rubles. About 20 cents. It's very cheap, but you probably can't return items to these warehouses, so basically, delivery starts at 35 rubles. If it's from your warehouse, so products are in my warehouse, shipping costs 35 rubles. If I ship from there, the delivery costs me 35 rubles. In Russia. Plus, there are returns, and they also cost money. But overall, let's say the average delivery cost is about 50 rubles, which is half a dollar. These are the prices. for delivery on Russian marketplaces. There are warehouses where delivery costs 155 rubles. This is for items up to 1 liter volume, so if it's a big item, it could be around $5 to $7. Easy delivery. But it's worth mentioning that in Russia, for example, there are transportation companies that also deliver goods, like SDKI, among others. The average price for these goods was still the same $35. Well, a little cheaper than in the US, about twice as cheap, but not as cheap as on Marketplace in Velberry. It's really cheap here, because they have their own logistics and a lot of warehouses, which is why the prices are so good. Let's move on to the commissions now. I don't know, can I switch to English? Yes, I can switch to English here, it will be clearer for you. Here we can see the commissions, for the goods. Let's scroll down and see how much the accessories are. Accessories. Here we see that the commission on wild berries is 24% if you sell from their warehouse, or from your own warehouse, but the delivery is handled by the marketplace. And 10% if you deliver the goods yourself. These are pretty high commissions. As you can see, it's 24% if we choose, for example. Coffee. Let's. Cushion. Coffee. Well, for coffee, it's already less. Here, the commission is 19%, or for auto goods. So, for my auto goods, the commission is 16.5%. Let's switch back to English. By the way, all these marketplaces have English available, and you can sell on them too. Actually, you just need to register an organization in countries like Belarus, Russia, Kazakhstan. Like Belarus, Russia, Kazakhstan, and I think also Uzbekistan. Kazakhstan. And I think also Uzbekistan. And Kyrgyzstan, somewhere among these countries. I don't remember the rest, that is, the first 3, definitely the last one. I could be wrong, you need to look and you can sell everything, that is, import goods from China to Valberry warehouses. You won't even have to participate in this yourself, and your products will be sold. I won't show the commission zones, because I don't sell much there now, since my goods are quite cheap. And honestly, it's not that profitable for me there, but starting this year, we'll be selling more expensive products. So, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it. I'll show you how I take to the warehouses. I do. This in Russia, how I travel to Russia and Belarus, how I cross the border. All this will be on the channel, so subscribe so you don't miss such videos. No one makes these kinds of videos in English, so I think it will be interesting. Now, let me show you the analytics for this account, which I've been showing you for a year. Right now. Let me show you the analytics for this account, which I've been showing you for a year now. By the way, if you go to the main page, I've already sold 66 items today, but I haven't sent them to the warehouses. So, the marketplace has already sent them, and the total order amount is 18,000 rubles, which is about $180. I made a clean 40% from these. So, here's my earnings for today. I mean, it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I've made about $60. Because my product is pretty cheap. Purchasing is quite expensive for sales, but the downside is that it's very small scale, and you need to sell in bulk. Thousands. The biggest one was. My daily turnover, if we're talking dollars, is around $2,000, so I made about $800 to $900 in one day. On this site, alone, not counting my other sources. I lost 500,000 rubles as products were unavailable. Sales were 1.5 million, $15,000. The stuff from China didn't arrive in time. And sales were 1.5 million, which is about $15,000. Net earnings after all deductions, taxes, and fees is about $5,000. About $5,000. For Belarus and Russia, that's really good money. Trust me. Let's also take a look at the payments. By the way, here you can see the amount for the goods that have already been purchased. It's listed in Belarusian rubles since the organization is Belarusian, but honestly, there's practically no difference between the Belarusian and Russian rubles. In fact, let's go ahead and check the history and see our latest payments here. which are in Belarusian rubles. The Belarusian ruble is currently about 3.3 to 3.5 to $1. That is. So, 6,500 Belarusian rubles is about $2,000, just a bit more. There are around 15 to 16,000 rubles a week. I was withdrawing 5,000 back then when the exchange rate was 2.9. Probably. The payments start at 700 rubles. There are quite a few of them. If we look at the first one, you can see it's 700 rubles, and then it goes from there. Here, the currency listed. What amounts can be withdrawn? These are the amounts you can withdraw and earn in the Russian market. Now let me tell you about taxes. By the way, since I'm touching on this topic, I have an organization. So on this account, the second one, it's a sole proprietorship. A sole proprietorship is like an individual entrepreneur. I don't know if there's something like that in the US or not, but I just work for myself, and now I'm going to close it. By the way, on the second account, I have a turnover per year. 6,700,000 Russia. I sold 30,000 products. 6,700,000, depending on the exchange rate. I think that's around $80,000. I hardly managed this account and sold that amount of products. Alright, let's choose this one. Let's choose 1 year here. 1 year. In 1 year, I sold about 20 million rubles here, which is roughly $250,000 at the time. So right now it's already less, but when the products were being sold, about a year ago, the exchange rate was around 60 to 70 rubles for $1. Right now, it's about 100 rubles for $1. That's why it's about $250,000. Well, and buybacks totaling 17 million. So, this is the product that has already been bought back, and a lot of products are on their way to the customers. Now let's talk about taxes in our countries. I have an organization, and I'll talk specifically about it. The tax rate on it is 6% plus 13%. This is what we call social payments, meaning the dividends that I withdraw. They are 13. If you open. As a foreigner, setting up an organization in Belarus or Russia will be exactly the same for you. So you pay 6% on your revenue. We sold products worth $100,000, so we paid $6,000 in taxes. And now, you wanted to withdraw some personal money to your card, let's say $20,000. From $20,000, you need to pay $2,600 in taxes. And that's it. You don't need to pay anything else. As a foreigner, there's a general tax system for sole proprietors. You can write off costs. No deductions at 6%. 20% system allows deductions. That is, you can rent anything you want for an office. You cannot deduct it again. Deduct documented organizational expenses. Often, there are expensive goods and a good margin. So, anything that belongs to the organization and is documented, you can deduct it all. Often, there are expensive goods and a good margin. Up to 20%. That's it. The system is much more profitable, and you can earn a lot more there. There's also other ways to earn additional income. But if you're interested, I can tell you a bit more about that. Now let's take a look at the chart. You see, I set up this account a year ago. Let's do it right here. It's the 25th year here. That's right. Well, yeah, basically, about a year ago. And look, see how many orders I had back then. 44, 40, 30. And here they are with me. Then things really started to pick up here. There were 200 orders a day. But then the product ran out. It decreased here. About 100 on average. And here I switched over sometime in the summer. It's about organizing the work. And at my peak, as you can see. How many orders for 845 in one day? Well, now it's like this, approximately 200 to 250, but now there will soon be 300 to 400 orders. Because we also just brought in a ton of products from China and we're going to sell them. Also about where to buy goods, naturally, on Chinese sites. For example, I will show you as an option Alibaba.com. Here you can buy goods. Cheap, but I personally don't buy here. Here, mainly just for beginners. I have connections to Chinese factories, and that's where we actually buy these products. Here you can also find Chinese factories, write to them about prices and so on. Here you can place orders to both the US and Europe, in any country where you're watching this video. If you want to get into this and find stuff here, you can find anything you want, and it's much cheaper. Products that sell automotive goods, namely. There is also various household goods. And here, by the way, there is promotion, you can also use it. That is, ordering advertising is very effective. At times, I've tried out different products and using this tool works really well. Now let me show you my reports. Let's check out my reports. Here are reports on inventory. So English, as we see, is like this. Here we have reports. I currently have about 10,000 items in warehouses in Elbrist. That is, there are about 10,000 pieces of goods, and plus another 1,000 in my warehouse. 40 products. Right now, we've brought in a lot from China, and we're going to be shipping it all out soon. I will personally go to the warehouses. I will show you everything completely. I will film how it happens. Well, at least I'll try to make it interesting for you. That's all for now, an intro. Earning in Russia, potential earnings, and good income there. I showed the picture, how you can make money in Russia, how much you can earn, and that you can make pretty good money in these countries. You don't need to invest a lot. So, thanks everyone for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Good luck, everyone. See you later. Bye-bye.